This is part 3 of what went wrong with Bafana Bafana at Afcon 2025. Bafana Bafana eliminated in the round of 16 by Cameroon 2-1, which we can all agree is regression. Bafana Bafana finished third in the last Afcon campaign on the podium, bronze medal. So finishing in the round of 16 was not on the cards, right? So now let's analyze the defense. In this video, I'll focus on the defense. And I want to start with one person, Grant Kekana, who was left out of the South African team. Right? If you look at the previous Afcon campaign, Bafana Bafana started off that campaign with a 2-0 loss to Mali. Kekana didn't play that game. Hugo Bross makes the change in the second game, brings on Kekana to partner with Mvala. What's the result? Bafana Bafana wins 4-0. Clean sheet for Bafana Bafana. The next game against Tunisia, 0-0. Bafana Bafana, clean sheet for Kekana. The next game in the round of 16, Bafana Bafana play Morocco. What's the score? 2-0 to Bafana Bafana. Clean sheet with Kekana. In the quarterfinals, the last 8 against Cape Verde, what's the score? 0-0. Clean sheet. Kekana. Bafana Bafana won on penalties. In the next game against Nigeria, what's the score? 1-1. Not a clean sheet, but Bafana Bafana did not lose that game. And Kekana took one for the team in the last 5 minutes of extra time by committing a foul that gave him a red card to save the team from losing in 120 minutes. Bafana Bafana went on to lose it on penalties anyway. But my point is, ever since Bafana Bafana brought in Grant Kekana at centre back in the second game, he played 5 games and Bafana Bafana did not lose any of those games. And Bafana Bafana kept 4 out of 5 clean sheets with him at centre back. Now, we definitely know there was an issue with centre back and Bafana Bafana's defense in this competition, in Afcon 2025. Bafana Bafana conceded in every single game up until the round of 16. 1 against Angola, 1 against Egypt, 2 against Zimbabwe, and 2 against Cameroon. Let's also look at what happened. The goals Bafana Bafana conceded, they were coming a lot from mistakes and set pieces. The first goal from Angola, it was a cross from a free kick. Who committed the unnecessary foul? It was Ngezana at centre back. In the second game, Bafana Bafana lost 1-0 to Egypt. It was a penalty by Mo Salah. Who committed the error? The foul? It was Mudau, hand to face of Mo Salah. Against Zim, the first goal, yes, it was a good, brilliant individual goal, but it was bad defending by Sitole and Mbogazi at centre back, who threw himself to the ground way too early. The second goal that Zim scored was an own goal by Aubrey Mudiba. Again, these are avoidable goals. Against Cameroon in the round of 16, the first goal was coming from a corner, a set piece, deflected into the way of Cameroon. The player was wide open, slotted it in the corner. But who committed the unnecessary foul that led to a free kick which was cleared, which led to the corner that Cameroon scored from? It was Ngezana. And then Cameroon scored the second just after halftime with a header where the Cameroon player got in between 2 centre backs, even after Hugo Bross changed formation to go 3 at the back. Player got in between Ngezana and Nsibisi to score the header. Ultimately, the winning goal that knocked South Africa out. So my point is, South Africa has a bad defensive record in this Afcon. There was no solution. And even when Hugo Bross went defensive, in the second game, he clearly went defensive against Egypt by bringing on an extra CDM in midfield where you had basically 3 defensive-minded midfielders. And in the last game against Cameroon, he went 5 at the back plus 2 holding center mids, defensive-minded. So 7 players on the ground were defensive-minded and they still scored 2 goals. It lacked leadership, it lacked composure, and there's some players that did not have a good tournament. Mbogazi made a mistake. His bad game was against Zimbabwe, but overall, I thought he was South Africa's best player this tournament. Overall, Mbogazi was solid. Ngezana, I do not think he had an amazing tournament. I think, except for the Zim game, where he was decent. Against Angola, he was suspect. Against Egypt, he was suspect. And against Cameroon, he was also suspect. Sibisi comes in against Cameroon when Hugo Bross switches to a when Hugo Bross switches to a back 5. He hasn't even had enough game time for Orlando Pirates this season. So he's clearly lacking match fitness and match sharpness. And he does not have a partnership with Ngezana. And I do think that's why it was chaotic at the back for Bafana Bafana. Bafana Bafana were not looking good defensively. Some people can say, no, if you look at the goals that Bafana Bafana conceded, it was a free kick against Angola, it was a penalty against Egypt, it was a corner against Cameroon. So 3 of those goals were not from open play, they were from set pieces. And Mudiba's one was an own goal. So avoidable goals, I get that. But Bafana Bafana still conceded in every single game. Defense wins you titles. So you need a solid defense when you go into these competitions. And you can see that because in the last campaign, that was the foundation for Bafana Bafana moving forward. Not conceding actually made South Africa finish 3rd in the last Afcon. It gave Ronwen Williams goalkeeper of the tournament and got him nominated for things like the Ballon d'Or and the FIFA Best. It gave a lot of our players to be nominated in Team of the Afcon that campaign. So with that being said, that's my analysis. Bafana Bafana's defense was totally lacking. It was also not helped out by the fact that Sithole at CDM did not have a good campaign. Even Mbata, when he came on, did not have a good campaign. So the defense was not good. The set piece defending was not good. So we also have to look at our set piece coach, right? Bafana Bafana were always going to be vulnerable when playing against African teams because of physicality, because of aggression, because of height. So Bafana Bafana will always be targeted with crosses in the box, with set pieces especially becomes even more of a danger because it is our Achilles heel. So we needed solutions defensively for those kind of problems, which in this AFCON we didn't have, and in the previous one we did. And my suggestion is that if maybe we had a partnership at the back that we could trust and we could rely on, someone who's experienced, who played for Bafana Bafana in this type of tournament before and proved himself to be basically unbeaten when he played in AFCON 2023. 5 games played, 5 games unbeaten. I think that was valuable experience to have. Not to mention that he was one of the defenders of the season last season, nominated for the award. Some people even say that he was robbed. He was better than CBC. And also he has vast experience playing in the biggest games. For example, the Champions League, and got to the final. With that being said, that's my video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Catch up on the other videos of what went wrong with Bafana Bafana at AFCON 2025. Bye-bye.
Hi guys, this is Ikumele Kune. I'm with KG Potato. Catch him on the YouTube channel. We are football. Please, we are football channel. Sharp.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's match day.
We'll be there.
Do you care though? Who?
We'll be there.